Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Touch MBA podcast. This is Darren, and this is part two of our interview with Christine Sneva, who is the Executive Director of Admissions and Financial Aid for the Cornell Johnson MBA. And this podcast is focused about Cornell's new MBA program that is based in New York City. And so this is a really exciting sort of state-of-the-art program that, I just want to ask Christine a lot more questions about. So Christine, maybe let's just get straight into it. And could you just tell us why this Cornell Tech in NYC MBA when you already have the 2-year program and 1-year program in Ithaca that's doing well?
So I'll start by saying in the spring of 2011, Mayor Bloomberg embarked on a very ambitious agenda to make New York City one of the world's top-ranked technology hubs. And Cornell Tech is a historic partnership to really build on an applied science and engineering campus on Roosevelt Island in New York City. And really where the vision comes is that this is a critical time in New York City's economy. Cornell Tech, and in partnership with Johnson, we're really set to change the paradigm of technology education and innovation, and really focus on who the next leaders are for the digital economy. And that's truly been the vision of the program from the very start. They knew that this was not supposed to just be a technology campus. It's not a technology campus. And without the business side, without applied science, without engineering, without computer science, without all of the partnerships from the Technion to Cornell and to Johnson, that we truly would not have a cross-disciplinary program where companies and projects and students are interacting on a level that is not done anywhere else. So true to its nature, Cornell Tech is a startup. It's building its infrastructure, its programs, its students, its staffing. Everything is in a startup curve, which has been a very exciting. It's very rare in education that in academia that you get an opportunity to completely redo an academic program. And we've completely redone an MBA. We've completely redone the admissions process. It's not like anything out there, and it's not because we want to try to be different. It's because it is different. And we've had to ask ourselves very difficult questions, challenge all of our assumptions of what we know, what's easy, what's difficult, who is this speaking to, are we really creating a different market? And I've gone through 3 cycles of the application process, and what I can tell you is that we've done that, and it's one of the most exciting things I think I've ever been able to be a part of.
That's so cool, and I mean, I'm looking at the curriculum right now, and I'll paste a link in the show notes so our audience can actually see what will be covered. But there's sort of the foundations of business element, then there's the essentials of tech business, where you're talking about innovation and entrepreneurship, big data, data analytics, digital marketing, social media. So these aren't common sort of core courses, I'd say, in the traditional MBA. I also saw your video that you made for the admissions process. So I want to get to that in a second, but I guess first my question is generally, I know that you said you're looking for people that come from technically sophisticated fields, so they have that background, whether it's educational or perhaps in their work experience. So could you talk more about who should consider this sort of program? And this is, again, a 1-year program that starts in May, offered by Cornell Tech, NYC.
Yeah, so, it's Johnson
and Johnson,
MBA
I'm sorry.
On the campus of Cornell Tech. And no, that's fine. And so people considering the program should be people that I believe would not be considering an MBA.
Okay.
The people that I'm seeing, the traditional 2-year program, and even our 1-year program, where they're getting sort of this general management sort of feel, switching careers, looking to do things that might be more of a traditional path, even though we do have a number of entrepreneurs and a number of our students in the 2-year program that have started companies. Those are really rare. That's a very rare breed of student. And so we're looking at the kind of student that may or may not have had graduate education on their radar, that have been working in engineering or as a developer, or people that have started their own companies. People are working in high tech, big data right now. People that, looking at their skill sets, probably could see a good natural progression in their career. And that's fine. What you're going to get at Cornell Tech is going to be wildly different. That's going to set you apart in the digital economy. So these aren't the people that are in IT frameworks that just want to, keep technology on their resume and think that, this is their way to start a company. If you're an entrepreneur, then you are always going to be an entrepreneur. You have that spirit, you have that skill set, you have that, risk type of characteristic about you. And so we certainly are looking for people with an entrepreneurial mind. A number of people that we see have already started startups, have already been within the startup New York City ecosystem. I've got somebody that does something out in DC that's got offices on the West Coast as well as in Europe. These are folks where a traditional MBA, a 2-year program is too long. And so they're looking for like-minded individuals that are going to impact not only their business and their careers, but they're also going to contribute to that as well. And so, you have to look at what the campus is. It's applied science and engineering. So these aren't people that have just come from, very traditional business backgrounds. These are people that have interacted with these kinds of people that have a different way of thinking. And this MBA program is essentially going to be taking these people and putting them out into a completely different world that the MBA sort of pipeline has never seen before. These are not people that typically probably would have gotten an MBA.
Right. And I mean, how big do you expect the class to be? Because I'm sure people will be curious about that. 100 people, 50 people?
So we are quite limited inside the Google building in New York City right now. So just in terms of
that's
space,
cool. The Google building. That's awesome.
Yes, right there in Chelsea.
Yeah.
So we're at a Chelsea campus, and we're at the Google building. And so Google has donated this space for all of Cornell Tech. And as the degree programs are growing, the space will be growing as well. And so we have some dedicated space that we'll be moving into for our group of students. We're looking for a cohort probably between 30 and 40, looking at what we have. We can't go over a certain amount. So this is unlike any kind of enrollment management process thing you ever have, right? Because you can always oversubscribe in enrollment management. Here, I can't do that. So physically, we will not be able to fit seats inside of classrooms. So there are those realistic constraints. And part of the admissions process and the deadline or deposit process is those who are admitted, you have a seat for the first 30 days, guaranteed. If you're not sure whether or not you're going to take that seat for the Cornell Tech cohort and you don't deposit it, you still have an offer. There's no deadline. Right. The class is full when the class is full. So, we talk about someone having an entrepreneurial spirit and sort of, having, a riskier sort of sense about them. There's sort of some risk because I'm not saying whether or not you want to be here or not. I just want the people that know the minute they get an offer, they're coming. Those are the people that I want. I'm not looking to play games or go back and forth between offers and schools or whatever. This is not this program. You can't compare us to anything else. So either you want in or you don't. And I think there's a lot of great self-selection that happens through the information that's out there as well as the admissions process.
And this is going to be the pioneer class, right?
This is the inaugural class.
Yeah, so that's always tremendously exciting. You're breaking. It's also scary in a way because it's the first time any program has been done, and so I guess my question is, how will they interact? How will students in this MBA class interact with other people, the community at Cornell NYC or Cornell Tech NYC and the Johnson School? How will that work?
So I'll first say that the people that should be in the inaugural class want to be the first. They know they want to be the first ones in through the door. And I love that about some of the offers that we have already made, folks, for the new cohort. So that is very unique about them. And again, when you talk about characteristics and how people differentiate themselves, there's something very, very unique and different about people that know that they want to be the first to something. And I find that very refreshing and exciting about this group of candidates. How the two campuses are really going to be enhanced. Luckily, we have a dean that did that already out in Seattle. He's got a lot of experience interacting multiple campuses, and this is certainly a new opportunity and challenge, I think, for all of Cornell, including Johnson. We have a number of ways and ideas that will be happening already. One reason is that the admissions process and the people deciding are the same people for the 2-year and the 1-year program. Admissions is being run from the residential side. It is not being siloed. I think that's very important for people to know and stay connected to us and what else is happening here on campus. The career management process is also being done that way. How we market and go to market and launch our programs is all done through marketing for all 5 programs, including our executive program. So I think that there's a lot of consistency. There's certainly that overarching message of who we are as an innovative business school, and then here are ways that we're innovative. And by the way, this Cornell Tech cohort, this is our newest innovation, and it's exciting. There's already such a strong New York City contingency of Cornellians in New York, and so I think the potential of having this space out in Roosevelt Island and been given this space is something that we know that Cornell should have, and that Cornell is only going to enhance what New York City is doing and certainly our presence in New York.
Wow, well, what a great initiative. And I mean, I guess I have to ask admissions questions because this is the Touch MBA podcast. So I saw that, candidates to this program can submit a web link, a video up to 90 seconds, or an essay of unlimited length. Candidates can submit 1 or 2 or 3 of these elements. And so, I mean, that as a former admissions guy myself, quite a nice break from the sort of traditional elements of an application. But I guess, would you have any tips? Would you have 1 or 2 or 3 tips to offer candidates, who really want a seat in this inaugural class?
I have 2 tips. One is really understand the mission and initiatives from Cornell Tech. And that's really what I'm wanting people to get. You don't have to tell me what they are. I know what they are. I want to know how they speak to you, how they speak to your skill level, how they speak to your own initiatives, what you want to do. Use your own judgment. Use your best judgment on how you can really showcase your skill level and your ability to understand that this is building leadership within the digital economy. That's very, very different than the buzzword of technology, right? And what that might mean. People that get it, I have seen some of the most creative visuals. I have seen excellent videos of people that have just sent me the YouTube video link. And I've read some of the best essays I have ever read. And I truly believe it's because I didn't put any constraints on this. These aren't the people that need to be limited to what I'm telling them I want to hear. Yeah. I want them to use their best judgment. And some people have said, I wrote this essay, I didn't have a link to anything, but this is what I know I could communicate to you.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's actually perfect. And that's actually probably one of the best, most genuine essays I've ever read. It was very, very clear to me. So I really want to challenge people to think about innovation and creativity in a different way, because not everything that's innovative is creative, and creativity and it's innovative. So I want you to think about how you think about that. The entire admissions process is really set up with how you think. And I think that is a really, really important approach, and it's very relevant to what's happening at Cornell Tech.
And was there a second tip?
Oh, I thought Oh gosh. Well, I guess
I'm trying to milk all these tips that I can for our
Oh
audience.
yes, okay. So you'll put me on the spot here for that one. So aside from knowing what Cornell Tech is and that mission,
yeah,
I would also say uh, what we're trying to accomplish. And for Cornell Tech, the campus, for all the degree programs to be successful, will all depend on the quality of students that we have and what they are set to do after graduation. So
okay.
we do anticipate people to go into high tech and certainly big data, but we also expect that there are going to be a number of people that are going to commercialize technology. They're going to be set to create their own business. One of the classes called Startup Project is really intended to de-risk that entrepreneurial and creation and idea phase before you even get the business model, to help people that know that an entrepreneurial path is a better fit for them and not force them into more of a traditional path because of other obligations or ways that they might prevent them from really starting something out on their own. And again, it's fulfilling that vision that Mayor Bloomberg has, and I think that is a big part of who Cornell Tech is and how we will continue to grow.
Awesome. And so how can candidates learn from going to the website? Who can they talk to about this program? Because it is still big investment of time and money. So who can they talk to?
They can talk to me right now. I'm the primary on Cornell Tech, and they can also talk to our program manager for Cornell Tech, Jenna Abbott. She and I go through the inquiries every single day and answer questions directly. The people at Cornell Tech, obviously they don't want to answer the questions on the MBA side because we're taking on more of that role. So go through me, go through Jenna Abbott, and we'll help answer questions. Certainly throw your hat in the ring by giving us your name and your email through the website. That goes right into a database that we put people on a listserv about. This is what's happening. That's very entrepreneurial of Cornell. Anything that relates to what Cornell Tech is doing, and it's an informal email. There's nothing branded necessarily about all of it. It's sometimes it's just a personal email from Jenna to say, hey, I know that you've got this background. This is a fit. They know that we send people that aren't necessarily a student here yet. That's something that they might be interested in checking out.
Fantastic. So we'll link to that page and email. So, and I hope to have you back on the podcast sometime soon.
Absolutely. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Darren, and thank you so much for everyone for listening.
All right. Thanks.